swastikas were being spray painted in my locker area.
They were saying Hail Hitler.
We live in a world where hate is easy.
And Jews are the most targeted religious group in America, says the FBI, and it's getting worse. A Jew brutally beaten by young men in Times Square, New York. He was surrounded by a group that began to
kick me, punch me, assault me with weapons, and also pepper spray or mace me. I don't even know which one.
NYPD confirms a swastika was found on a bathroom wall Friday. Recently, Eli Schmidman says someone shouted an expletive at him as he walked into a campus building.
He said, "F the Jews."
I've seen them parrot foul anti-Semitic tropes.
We have this resurgence of anti-Semitism, and it sells really well to, online guys, specifically male, certain demographic, right? Live with their parents, can't find a job, no money in the bank. There's a term for it, actually. Incel. Yeah, it sells well to the incels, and it matches perfectly with the Dan Bilzerian audience. Because he's like, look how buff I am. Look how accomplished I am. Look how much money I have. Look at all the girls that surround me. And I've cracked the code, right? I've figured out why you can't do well in life. So buy my course, buy my, membership into my community. Oh, and then by the way, the reason why you're not doing well in life is because the Jews are stealing all the resources. That 6 million people in a population of 8 billion somehow collectively control the world. You probably don't see it. But like the comments, we spend tens of millions of dollars on Meta every year. And some of the ads are served from my profile, right? And so I see these horrific comments. I don't know who these people are. They're certainly not bots, but I don't know who these people are and how they have sort of zero conscience, right? They're able to say stuff and feel no guilt. And the stuff that they say, like, do I control the world? I don't think I do, right? My two business partners who are raised in a home that fled Iran, but their parents were, or I would say their grandparents were like radical extreme Muslims.
Jews man! Jews man! They don't understand the things I say on Twitter.
There's the party bus driving by with Sneako and the Tate brothers and Clavicular and, they're all like smoking cigarettes and they're flicking the cigarette. And what do you expect's going to happen? An explosion. An explosion of epic proportions, again, singularly, at young, fighting age, that can't find a girlfriend, that can't get a job, that can't buy a home. They're displaced, they're ostracized, they're angry, right? High testosterone, they don't know what to do. And then these guys get platformed, they're like, yeah, that's how I feel. Fuck the Jews. They're to blame for everything. So let's pin it on them, right? The point is, I need people to stop asking why these influencers like Sneako and, Clavicular and Nick Fuentes and the Tate brothers, let's stop asking each other why these influencers that are seemingly dominating the world of social media, let's stop asking each other like why they're anti-Semitic. Because I think when you do that, you're looking at it like it's this political issue, which it's not. This is a business model. And I know it sounds insane, but I want you to stay with me. In the content game, and I'm sure you would agree, hate is like this new top of funnel. Right? Financial advice, I try to give it all day. Nobody wants to listen to it. Nobody wants to listen to financial advice, apart from if you're like Dave Ramsey. You're like, well, Will, what about self-help? Self-help? You've got Tony Robbins, and that's it. He's the authoritative voice on self-help. Blaming the Jews? Blaming a cabal? Well, that gets clicks. That's always gotten clicks. Right? Who do we blame for the plague? Oh, it's the Jews. You sure it's not the rats? You sure it's not the vermin? No, it's the Jews. But in fact, you could be right about rats because the Jews have these weird noses. They sort of look like rats. So let's make these posters and post them all around our town and villages that have Jews that are drawn to look like caricatures of well, I don't know, half human, half rat. That'll certainly get clicks. And that's what's going on here. Because if you push and you blame a cabal throughout the annals of history, it's always worked. Name a country that the Jews have yet to be kicked out of. Like maybe one of the last. This strategy, this new business model will get you clicks no matter what. That gets the algorithm to push you. And we all know this, right? Right? For all the people who are sitting there like making content in their, you know, in their basement, in their home office, and they're like, gosh, I can't get any engagement, I can't get any clicks, my stuff doesn't get any views. It's like the last bullet in the chamber that you haven't tried. Be divisive, be extreme. It is the greatest business model. You'll lose your friends, your family, your self-respect. You'll double cross your conscience. But if all you want is engagement and clicks and shares and saves and, you know, comments, boom, blaming a cabal, 6 million Jews on planet Earth, there's 8 billion people, but yet we're to blame for everything. Well, that'll get the algorithm, you know, to push you. And so going back to the whole idea of like, well, Sneako and Fuentes and Clavicular and the Tate brothers, they're sitting, you know, in this Sprinter van, they're cruising around Miami and they're singing country music with Justin Waller, seemingly harmless. And then they put on the song. And then they put on Heil Hitler. Everybody, you know, sort of instantly becomes a hate monger. And then they get to the club. Hey DJ, can you play that song I like? N-word in Paris? No, not that one. That was from 15 years ago. No, the new one, where the guy puts up his hand at like that 60-degree angle, 70-degree angle. It's the right hand, right? Yeah, I know exactly the one you're talking about. So then they all do that. But what's weird, and I hope we can show this, is the camera's panning. It's like, you know, it's a cell phone, and it's like panning the room, and everyone's, you know, doing the salute, and there's Andrew, almost hiding from public view, not doing the salute, not singing the song. And it begs the question, why? Now, everybody on the right's going to say, and I've seen it, right? Andrew Tate, Top Goy. I've seen all the comments. I want you guys to watch how these guys operate, right? They say something horrific about Jews, and then if it lands, which it always does, they double down and they double down. And if the heat gets hot, like you saw with Andrew Tate on PBD, what, me? No. That? The whole Heil Hitler thing? No, I was joking. I was asking questions. I was raising my hand. I had a question. It is a coward's strategy. It is a coward strategy. You want all the credit that comes to you, right, from the fringe. But then again, you want the safety and the security and the reliability of the mainstream. So, you know, I really want you guys to ask yourself this. Who is the customer for the content? Young men, demonstrably male. Most assuredly, they're white. They are broke, they are lonely, they are lost, right?